Robert was a collector of rare coins. One day, the man called the police. "I got this coin only yesterday," he cried. "I've been looking for it for several years, and now it's gone. I'll bet it's one of my brothers. Frederick and Matthew live together with me. One of them collects ancient books, and the other is crazy about rare stamps. All our collections are kept in one large room." The police started to ask Robert for more details. It turned out that the key from the room where all the collections were was kept in a vase standing on the fireplace. The only person who visited the house was Robert's friend, Mark. The man liked the coin so much that he started offering big money for it. But Robert didn't agree to sell it. In the morning, he came to check on the coin, but it was missing. When the police arrived, they found out the room had been opened with the key. The police didn't find any fingerprints either. Do you know who stole the coin? It was Mark. He was the only person who had a reason for getting rid of the fingerprints. The brothers' fingerprints would be absolutely natural since they lived there. There was a blackout in the city, but the bus driver still noticed a dog on the road and managed to stop in time. How did he do this? This accident happened during the day. It's nothing but holes tied to other holes. At the same time, it's as strong as steel, but not as stiff as a pole. What is it? It's a chain. Stephen's wife called the police and told them her husband had disappeared right from his garage. It happened several hours ago. The only thing she found there was a left-hand glove. When the police came, they saw it was a very peculiar glove. Such gloves were sold only in one store in their town. The store owner told them he had recently sold these gloves only to two people, Kevin, Stephen's neighbor, and Brian, Stephen's colleague at work. The police officers visited Kevin and asked the man to show them his gloves, but Kevin had just one. "I lost the other glove a week ago, and I don't have any other gloves." The man even pulled the glove on to demonstrate it to the officers. Then the police visited Brian. "I was wearing these gloves when I was repairing my car. They got so dirty that I threw them away." Who do you think knows something about Stephen's disappearance? Brian. Kevin put his glove on his left hand, and the glove Stephen's wife found was also for the left hand. A math teacher told his students about the Roman numerals. After that, he asked them to draw just one continuous line and turn IX into 6. The only condition was that the students were not to lift their pens from the paper until the line was finished. Jeffrey was the first to complete this task. How did he do this? He drew the letter S in front of IX and got 6. Both Sharon and Cynthia had a box of chocolates each. There were 14 chocolates in each box. Sharon ate several candies, and Cynthia ate the same number of chocolates that were left in Sharon's box. How many chocolates do they have together now? They still have 14 chocolates together. Kimberly inherited an old house from her rich aunt. When the young woman was exploring the cellar, she came across a massive wooden door. She opened it and saw a small room. In that room, there were 3 bags and a note on the floor. One of the bags has $1 million and the others are empty. You can only open one bag, so think carefully. Kimberly also noticed there was a message on each bag. On the first bag it said, "The cash is not here." The message on the second bag was, "The cash is not here." And the message on the third bag claimed, "The cash is in the second bag." If only one message is true, which bag has the money? The money can't be in the second or third bags. If it was so, then two messages would be true. It means the money is in the first bag. When you look for something, you always find it in the last place where you search. Why is that? It's always the last place where you look because, after this, there's no need to continue your search. A married couple went on a vacation and asked their neighbor to look after their house. When they returned, the wife found out that she had lost all her expensive jewelry, and it happened because of a power failure, no less. The woman had hidden her jewelry in a supposedly safe place. The house hadn't been burgled. The neighbor was an honest person. The jewelry had disappeared by accident. What happened? The wife hid her jewelry in the freezer in a bag with frozen food. After the power failure, the food got spoiled. The neighbor decided to help and threw away all the bad food from the fridge, along with the jewelry. You're locked in a room with 3 doors. It's safe to walk through any of them, but the doorknobs are the real problem. One of them puts out high voltage. The second is covered with poison. Just one drop on your skin and you won't survive. And the third doorknob is so hot it will make your hand burn. What doorknob should you opt for? The second one. You can take off any piece of clothing and open the door with its help. This way you won't touch the doorknob with your bare hand. A woman was hit by a car that sped away right after the accident. When the police arrived, they found several witnesses who described the car. The detective went to the house of one of the suspects. There, he saw a car that looked like the one in the description. But when he questioned its owner, the man claimed he had spent the whole day at home. The detective realized the suspect was lying right away. How? He touched the hood of the car. It was still warm from the engine. I was driving along the highway when one of my tires burst. I stopped to change it, but when I came back to the car, I saw it had a flat battery. I looked around and realized I was in the middle of a small town. I decided to wait for someone who could help me. Suddenly, I heard glass shatter. The night was very dark, so I switched on the headlights and saw a man climbing out of a house. He was carrying a large bag. I got scared and ran to the nearest police station. That was Mr. Darrison's story. The police detective who was listening to him asked, "And where did you hide everything you had stolen from that house?" How did he come to that conclusion? If Mr. Darrison's car battery was flat, how could he switch on the headlights? Dylan was trapped in a basement. The only thing he found inside was a note and a pen. Find the way to get 200 out of 188 with one line, and you'll be free. 5 minutes later, the door opened automatically, and Dylan was free. What did he do? He drew the line to divide 188 horizontally. That way, he got 2 ones and 4 zeros. A woman in a purple dress exclaimed, "I've never been to this store, Cinderella dresses. What kind of name is this?" But many people claim that a woman in purple took all the money from the cash desk while the shop assistant was away and ran out of the store, Detective Smith told the woman. The woman exclaimed, "I was just standing outside when suddenly a woman charged at me. Of course, I got scared and ran away. Then a police officer saw me running and stopped me. I agreed to return to the store, hoping it'd clear up the confusion. Several visitors said I could be the thief, but they weren't sure. Now I know you're the woman who stole the money," the detective said. How did he figure it out? The woman said return to the store, which means she had been there before and lied about the whole situation. Your company produces shoes. You have 2 factories in different cities. The workers of both factories have started to steal shoes. You can't use any additional security, but you have to stop the theft. How can you do it? One factory should start making only left shoes, and the other only right ones. Detective Aaron Bowler participated in a competition organized by a private consultant who came from Europe. Aaron wanted to become the Detective of the Year very much. It was the evening of the last day of the competition. The consultant explained what would happen next. You will all gather in a large room. Once you hear a shot outside, you'll need to rush in and find the criminal. The winner will be the person who will get to them first. You aren't allowed to use any equipment or tools. Several hours passed, and the people in the room started to get nervous. Suddenly, Aaron got up and went to another room. His colleagues asked him where he went, but the guy only answered, "I need to get ready for the chase," and he took a seat without switching on the light. Several minutes later, the detectives heard the shot. Aaron ran outside and was the first to catch the criminal. The consultant gave the man his prize and asked, "What helped you to be the first?" What did Aaron answer? His eyes didn't need to get used to the darkness outside because he had already spent some time in a dark place. One Sunday, Tom told his brother Dan that he was going hiking with his friend Chris. The next Saturday, the police found Tom unconscious in the forest. Dan said he had been working all week. As for Chris, he was found wandering along the highway. He explained that he had gotten lost in the forest almost immediately after they had arrived and just found his way home. One of the guys was lying. Who was it? Look at Chris. He's too well-shaven for a man who spent a week in the woods. There are 5 girls in the room. Ashley is drawing, Olivia is reading, Maria is playing hide-and-seek, and Emma is tidying up. What's Sarah doing? Sarah is playing hide-and-seek with Maria, of course. What number is missing? A small hint, it's not number 4. Number 5 is missing. The subsequent number of 234 is 235. In the small town of Sunshine Valley, 3 teachers went on a sick leave all on the same day. Jenna says she got into a car accident and broke her leg, so she can't walk. Emma complained she had a very unfortunate workout and injured her neck, so she can't turn her head. And Tina says she fell from a bike and fractured her arm. But one of them is lying. Can you tell who? It's Jenna. If she can't walk, why does she even have a crutch to hold her up? If it's raining at midnight, can you expect that in 72 hours it'll be sunny? Nope, in 72 hours, it's going to be night again. In the room, there are 2 people, both of them sitting. But if one of them stands up, they won't be able to take the other one's place whatever they do. How is that possible? The second person is sitting on the first one's lap. A father tells his teenage daughter, "You arrived very late at 3 a.m. and made us all worry a lot. I don't want this situation to repeat." His daughter, though, replies that it will never happen again. How can she be so sure? The father was talking about the birth of his daughter. An art expert paid big money at an auction for a painting that he knew didn't cost anything. He was an honest man and didn't have any criminal intentions. Why did he buy this picture? Although the painting cost nothing, its frame was a beautiful and expensive piece of art. A street food vendor has a sign on his stall saying, "1 hot dog, $1.50. 3 hot dogs, $5. He knows it's more expensive to buy 3, but doesn't change his sign. Why? Each time a customer saw his sign, they would buy 1 hot dog, then another, and then a third one, totaling up to $4.50. Thus, everyone's happy. The customers think they're clever, and the vendor gets his sales up. During a fire, a bank was robbed. The security guard told the police that he wanted to save a bag of money, but he had to crouch to tie his boot just in front of the emergency exit. At that moment, the door opened and hit him on the head. When he came to, the money was missing. Why was the security guard arrested? Well, all emergency doors open outwards. You find yourself in a photo gallery. After looking at the wall, you realize that one of the pictures doesn't belong to the rest. You see a raccoon, a llama, a football, and a balloon. Can you tell which is the odd one out? It's the llama picture. The other 3 objects have 2 double letters in their names, but the llama only has 1 double. There's a barrel of water in the yard. You look inside and say that it's more than half full, but your friend argues that it's less than half full. How to figure out who's right without using any measuring tools or removing water from the barrel? Tilt the barrel so that the water touches the rim. If you can see the bottom, the barrel's less than half full. If the bottom is still covered with water, it's more. Sam and his brother John were always fighting. Their mother couldn't take it anymore and came up with a clever plan to stop them. She told the boys to stand on the same piece of paper in such a way that they didn't touch each other, and it worked. The boys couldn't fight anymore. How did she do it? The woman slipped the paper under a closed door and made Sam stand on one side and John on the other. There is a bridge that is 1 mile long. It can hold only 5,000 pounds at one time. That's exactly the weight of the truck that's crossing it. The truck reaches the middle of the bridge and stops. Suddenly, a bird lands on the truck. Is the bridge going to collapse? The bridge isn't going to break down because the truck has already used some gas to get to the middle and therefore weighs less than 5,000 pounds. A young woman is sitting near the window. At first, she's deep in thought. Then, she suddenly decides to throw something out of the window. A couple minutes later, she drops on the floor unconscious. She's perfectly healthy and isn't prone to sudden faints. There was no one outside to have hit her either. So, what happened? She was knocked out by the very same thing she'd thrown out the window. It was a boomerang that came back and hit her on the head. Well, that was a dumb thing to do. 2 men are in a room facing each other. One of the men is a psychic and can see into the future. He predicts that in 10 minutes, the other man will be hit on the back of his head. Of course, shocked and paranoid, the other man can't stop staring at the clock on the wall. And exactly 10 minutes later, he's lying face down on the floor. How could it happen? After 10 minutes, the man turned around to see if there was anyone behind him. At exactly that moment, the psychic hit him on the back of his skull. Well, I'm starting to think he wasn't a psychic after all. You walk up to the edge of a forest when suddenly you see a man in swimming trunks, goggles, and a snorkel going out of the thicket and falling on the ground as if exhausted. But you know the nearest body of water is several miles away. How did the weird man end up in the forest? There was a huge forest fire, and the plane that was extinguishing it had to scoop up water from the lake several miles away. Doing it, it accidentally captured the man snorkeling in the lake. He was dropped down together with the water and miraculously survived. Upon receiving an anonymous tip, the police rushed to a house where a suspect was said to be. They have no physical description, but they do know his name is John. When the cops reach the place, they see 4 people sitting at a table: a carpenter, a firefighter, a truck driver, and a mechanic, none of which have name tags on their uniforms. Without a moment's hesitation, they arrest the firefighter. So how did they know that's their guy? The firefighter was the only man in the room. All the others at the table were women and couldn't be named John. A man and his wife are driving down a highway when they run out of gas. So the husband decides to walk to the nearest gas station, which is about an hour's walk away. Before he heads off, he tells his spouse to stay in the car and lock all the doors and windows. The wife, bored and wanting to entertain herself, turns on the radio only to hear some shocking news. A notorious criminal has escaped from prison and was last seen on that very highway where the car is sitting. The reporter on the news gives a very detailed description of the escapee. The wife gets so scared that she quickly turns off the radio. She double-checks all the locks, but when she looks up, she sees the escapee just a few feet away from the car. When the man returns, he finds the car still all locked up, but his wife is nowhere to be seen. How is it possible? The answer is simple. The couple had been driving a convertible with the top down, and the woman wasn't, dare we say, terribly bright. An adventurer found a treasure chest in a cave that was guarded by a pirate. He had 3 keys, gold, silver, and black, but only one of them could open the chest. The pirate would give the adventurer only one chance to reach the treasure. If he chose the right key, he could take the chest. If he chose incorrectly, the pirate would attack him. Arr! The only clue was this cipher. Which is the right key? The cipher is an anagram. Shuffle the letters a bit and you'll get the golden key. The adventurer went away unscathed, and the pirate was left frustrated and treasureless.
Want to know the future? These questions will help you reveal some clues. Pick your cards and don't forget to count your score. The results are waiting at the end of this video. Here's the first question. Pick a door. Door A brings 1 star to your score. If you choose door B, add 4 points to your basket. Option C costs 2 stars. D brings you 3 points. What would you want the most out of these options? Hit the jackpot? Have a date with your celebrity crush? Get some sleep? Become a Superman and save the world? Card A brings 3 stars to your score. If you chose B, add 2 points to your basket. Card C costs 1 star. Option D brings you 4 points. Pick an open road that you like the most. The mountain highway brings you 3 stars. If you chose the desert, add 4 points to your score. Sunrise highway costs 2 stars. The road through the rainforest brings you 1 point. How often do you daydream about your future? Every 5 seconds? Sometimes. Never. Future? I don't even know this word. Option A adds 1 star to your score. B brings you 2 points. If your choice is C, it's worth 3 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. Which picture inspires you the most? Northern Lights? Rainy forest? Sakura in blossom? Sunset on a wild beach? If your choice is option A, add 4 stars to your basket. Option B is worth 3 stars. Option C brings you 2 points. And option D is worth 1 star. What's your idea of a perfect vacation? Hiking in the woods by myself? I love to be alone. Luxury spa with my besties, because we're worth it. Family gathering in a country house. I can't imagine my life without them. Extreme sports and risky adventures. Card A brings you 2 stars. Card B adds 3 points to your score. If you chose C, add 1 star to your basket. Option D brings you 4 points. Are you worried about your future? Sometimes I like to have a plan B. Never. I live in the moment. Always, I try to control everything. Nope, I spend all my time regretting my past. If you picked option A, add 3 stars to your score. Option B brings you 4 points. Option C is worth 1 star. If D is your choice, it brings you 2 points. What's your most common emotion? Peace, enthusiasm, joy, anxiety. Option A brings 3 stars to your score. If you chose B, add 4 points to your basket. Option C brings you 1 point. And option D is worth 2 stars. What is your favorite activity? Reading books and watching movies. Partying with friends and meeting new people. Studying and developing new skills. Creating art and sharing content. If you picked option A, add 1 star to your score. Option B brings you 4 points. Option C is worth 3 points. Option D brings you 2 points. How many of your life goals have you already accomplished? 0. My to-do list for this life is 50% completed. All of them. I want it, I got it. I don't set any goals. The universe knows better. If you chose A, add 1 star to your score. Option B brings you 2 points. C is worth 3 points. Option D brings you 4 points. How would you describe your social life? Social what? I have a couple of loyal friends. Every human being is my friend. My friend circle is always changing. Card A adds 2 stars to your score. If you picked option B, take 1 star. Did you pick option C? Award yourself with 3 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. If you could get any career right now, what would you choose? Actor. I love to be the center of attention. Doctor. I want to help others. Architect. I like to create spaces. Astronaut. I'd love to discover new worlds. If you chose A, add 2 stars to your score. Option B brings you 1 point. C costs 3 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. Pick a lady you like the most. If you picked Lady A, grab 2 points. Option B adds 1 star to your score. Option C brings you 3 stars. And answer D brings you 4 points. How are you preparing for your future? I create beautiful wish boards. I just talk about it with my friends. Thinking and finding solutions to my current issues. I take it step by step every day. If you picked option A, add 1 star to your score. Option B brings you 2 points. 3 will cost 3 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. What is your biggest dream? A loving relationship? Money and a luxurious lifestyle? Pursuing my true passion? Making someone special truly happy? If you chose A, add 2 stars to your score. Option B brings you 3 points. C costs 4 stars. And if your choice was option D, you get 1 point. Do you believe in yourself? Kinda. Yes, all the time. Nope, I'm not exactly perfect, bro. I prefer to take action and not think about that. If you chose A, add 1 star to your score. Option B brings you 3 points. Option C is worth 2 stars. Option D is worth 3 points. Do your parents support you? Nope, I'm on my own in this world. Not that much, they got their own lives. Yes, my happiness means everything for them. Just a little when I ask for help. If you chose A, add 3 stars to your score. Option B brings you 4 points. Option C costs 1 star. Finally, option D brings you 2 points. Pick a quote that you like the most. Time is money. Benjamin Franklin. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Albert Hubbard. If you want to be happy, be Leo Tolstoy. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Lao Tzu. Option A adds 3 stars to your score. Option B brings you 2 points. If you chose C, take 1 star. Option D brings you 3 points. Which sounds most like you? Friendly, cool, popular. Serious, shy, reliable. Calm, wise, peaceful. Drama queen. Card A adds 2 stars to your score. Option B brings you 1 point. If you chose C, grab 3 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. Which plant do you like the most? Sunflowers always warm my heart. Cactus, we have a lot in common. Orchids, I love their sophisticated beauty. Roses. What could be better than the classics? Card A adds 4 stars to your score. Option B brings you 1 point. If you chose C, 3 stars are coming your way. Those who went for D get 2 points. Choose an emoji. Laughing, shy, poker face, sunglasses. A adds 1 star to your score. B brings you 2 points. Option C adds 4 stars to your score. D brings you 3 points. What would you choose? Get rich but never find true love? Find true love but never get rich. I'm already rich. Where's my soulmate? I don't play these games, bro. Card A adds 3 points to your score. Option B brings you 1 point. If you chose C, grab 2 stars. Option D brings you 4 points. Ready for the results? Make sure you sum up your score correctly. Let's go! 22 to 35 points. Your future is about having a beautiful partnership. You'll make it with the right person who shares your life goals and values. Together, you'll build the life of your dreams step by step. This journey will bring joy and satisfaction every day. 35 to 50 points. Your future will force you to reconsider your idea of love. You'll meet your true soulmate when you least expect it. Your heart will recognize them at first. This person will inspire you to become a better version of yourself every day. This experience will be beautiful. 50 to 65 points. Congratulations! Your future is about having your dream career. You're pretty determined and you can make it if you really want it. Stay focused and know that the stars are on your side. You may even outgrow your original dream and switch to building a community of like-minded people to share your experience and give them a sense of purpose. 65 to 88 points. Your future is about to surprise you. The chances to make your biggest dreams come true are very high. Random conversation, a new job offer, or a party invitation can turn your entire life upside down in a good way. So don't settle for compromises and go for the new opportunities. Remember that wishes tend to come true in unexpected ways, so keep your eyes open. Chris and Sally are best friends. They live in different districts of the city, but this morning they went to the same railway station. Chris left home 15 minutes earlier than Sally. They met in a park. Who was closer to the railway station when they met? The guys met in the same place, which means they were equally far from the station. Chris and Sally arrived at the station in time, but they still needed to buy tickets. The price for one ticket was only 50 cents. Chris gave the ticket booth guy $1 without saying a word, and the guy gave Chris 2 tickets without even looking at him. Why? Because Chris gave him 4 quarters, which implies that they need 2 tickets. Chris and Sally have set an ambitious goal to visit 100 countries in a year. Yippee! This morning they boarded the train and their dream journey began. Can you guess their first destination by looking at this picture? Well, have you cracked this rebus? It's Spain. The guys began to play cards with fellow travelers. They noticed the deck was missing a few cards. They also noticed that if they dealt the rest of the cards among 4 people, 3 cards would remain. And if they dealt these cards between 3 people, 2 cards would remain. If they distributed the cards among 5 people, again, 2 cards would remain. How many cards were left in the pack? There were 47 cards left in the pack. Let's see if 47 can be divided by 4. Each of the 4 players will get 11 cards and 3 cards will be left. And if 47 is divided by either 3 or 5, 2 cards will remain undistributed. The guys got hungry and went to the dining car to get some snacks. The waiter brought them drinks and some pastries. When Sally saw the croissant, she yelled and jumped away. There were 2 B's in front of 2 B's, 2 B's behind 2 B's, and 2 B's next to 2 B's. How many B's did she see? Even if it seems there were a lot of B's in that group, in reality, there were only 4. They simply stood in a square formation. When Chris and Sally returned to their car, they found out that someone had broken inside their cabin and stolen their expensive camera and laptops. They called the train guard and questioned 3 witnesses. Chuck said, "I've spent the last 20 minutes in a restroom. You see, I bought 1 pack of instant noodles right before departure, but I regretted it as soon as I finished my meal." Lola said, "I've been editing my vlog for the last hour. I was wearing headphones and didn't leave my cabin." And Daniel said, "I've been partying all night, so I fell asleep as soon as I got on the train." Who's lying? It's Chuck. He said he only bought 1 pack of instant noodles and eaten it. But where does this unopened package come from? Suddenly, the train drove into a tunnel. The lights on the train went out for a few seconds. When the lights came back on, Chris and Sally saw that Chuck had escaped. They chased him around the train cars. Can you help them find Chuck in this car? He's hiding over here. And what about this car? He's hiding on the luggage rack. What about this car? There he is. He's wearing the uniform, pretending to be a train worker. The guys got off the train in Barcelona. After that, they ordered a taxi to go to the apartment they rented in advance. The driver was very generous. He said, "I will give you a free ride if you solve my riddle. I have 4 wings, but I cannot fly. I never laugh and never cry. On the same spot, I'm always found, toiling away with little sound. What am I?" The guys solved this riddle right away and enjoyed their free ride. What about you? The correct answer is a windmill. Finally, the guys found their apartment, but the door was locked. The combination lock required a 4-digit passcode. Can you find any clues and help the guys open the door? There are 6 words written on the wall: eyes, nose, skin, hair, ears, and tongue. All of the listed words are human sense organs, except hair. It's a hint. The correct passcode is hair. The guys loved the rented apartment a lot, but there's one item they liked most of all. Solve this riddle to find out which one. I'm a word of 6. My first 3 letters refer to an automobile. My last 3 letters refer to a household animal. My first 4 letters are a fish. And my whole is found in your room. What am I? The correct answer is a carpet. Sally and Chris went for a walk along the beach. They built a beautiful sandcastle and then went swimming. When they returned, they noticed someone had destroyed their castle. They decided to interrogate 3 people standing nearby. Francois said, "I've been putting sunblock on my wife's back and I didn't notice your castle." Billy said, "I played ball with my friends. I focused on the game and I didn't touch your castle." Alice said, "I saw one weird guy passing by. He stepped on your sandcastle. Horrible. People are all so ill-mannered." Who's lying? Alice. She had lost one of her earrings at the crime scene. The guys headed to a beach party. Chris asked the local DJ to play his favorite song. The DJ said, "All right, but you gotta solve my riddle first. I'm always in charge, I'm never in debt. I'm known as the first amongst all my kind. I'm found within cars, but never in buses. You won't find me in Mexico, but you'll find me in Germany. What am I?" Chris cracked this riddle very quickly. What about you? The correct answer is the letter A. The guys planned a boat ride for the next day. That's why Sally decided to check the weather forecast. Can you tell whether it's a good idea to sail? This puzzle says thunderstorm, so they probably should choose another way to spend their time. Chris and Sally decided to visit the greenhouse to enjoy the local flora and fauna. How many flowers and butterflies are there if both of the following statements are true? If all the butterflies land on all the flowers, one butterfly for one flower, one butterfly won't get a flower. And if every two butterflies decide to share a flower, one flower will be left without a butterfly. Do you think you'll manage to find the answer? That's right. There are 4 butterflies and 3 flowers. Chris and Sally went to see the local museum. Unfortunately, they got lost in the basement. They wandered around for a while and found 3 doors leading outside. Behind the first door, there was a zombie with dangerous hungry monsters. Behind the second door, there was a lake with cold water so cold that nobody could spend even a minute in it. Behind the third door, there was a giant dinosaur breathing fire. Which door should they choose to survive? To solve this riddle, we should remember these 2 things. First of all, dinosaurs didn't breathe fire. That's what dragons do. And dinosaurs went extinct many millions of years ago, so Chris and Sally should choose door number 3. Chris and Sally ran outside the creepy museum, but suddenly a guard popped out of nowhere and said,
"I'm going to set you free if you manage to crack my riddle. Here it is. Look in my face. I'm somebody. Look in my back. I'm nobody. What am I?"
Can you help the guys out? The correct answer is a mirror. Chris and Sally went to a souvenir shop to buy some gifts for their friends. The seller offered them 3 boxes, but the guys can pick only 1 box. Can you help them make the right choice? The first box has a dark bottom, like something is leaked or rotten. The second box looks too fancy and bright, so there's probably something cheap inside. The third one looks like the first one, but it's clean, so they should choose the third box. The guys went to the local skyscraper to take panoramic pictures of the city. They saw a man gazing through the window of the 33rd floor of the building. He suddenly opened the window and jumped on the other side of the window. When he landed on the floor, he was totally fine. How can that be possible if he didn't use any kind of parachute and didn't land on a soft surface? The man is a window cleaner who jumped inside through the window after finishing his work on the 33rd floor. The next day, Sally and Chris arrived at the airport. Can you guess their next location? That's right, it's Greece. When you have 3, you have 3. When you have 2, you have 2. When you have 1, you have none. What is it that you have? Can you crack this code? The correct answer is choice. When you have 3, you have 3 options. When you have 2, you have 2 options. But as soon as there's only 1 remaining, there are no options.